It's a remarkable fact that people seem to rely so heavily on the Gospel of John to decide on their Jesus. Why can't we get our stakes in firmly in the Old Testament, in first century Judaism, and Matthew and Luke as the basis of our Christology, and then work the Gospel of John around that? It really is absurd, I think, to suggest that in the 6th chapter of John we're to take this very figurative language literally. If we take it quite literally, we wind up finding that the flesh of Jesus came down from heaven. The Son of Man came down from heaven. The human being, that is, came down from heaven. Surely nobody believes that. No, John 6 should be worked quite easily if we bear in mind Hebrew idiom. And we find that not in our own Western American British English, but in the language of the time. For example, in James chapter 1 and verse 17, James said this: "Every good thing given and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights." Therefore, this proves that coming down from heaven is completely non-proof of being something which literally exists in heaven and comes down physically, so to speak, descends like as if almost on a parachute down to the earth. That's not going to work. The language is clear. Every good gift, in the language of those first century, very Hebrew thinking Greek writers, every good thing given, every gift from above, comes down from heaven, coming down from the Father of lights. He says the same thing again in James 3:15, and that is that wisdom comes down from heaven. Wisdom that doesn't come down from heaven is demonic, is evil. But the true wisdom is the wisdom that comes down out of heaven. That's exactly what Jesus did. He came out of heaven as God's gift to the world. But don't imagine that that figurative language should be the dominant note in your decision on who Jesus actually is. His bread, or he says that I am the bread that comes down out of heaven. That's in verse 51. And if you eat that bread, the bread which is Jesus, you're eating the life of the coming age, the life of immortality. It's his flesh. So are you going to insist then that his flesh came literally out of heaven? I think not. The Son of Man then is here as the flesh that descended from heaven as God's gift. By no means take that figurative language of John literally, and thereby by no means contradict the plain evidence of the whole of the Old Testament and Matthew and Luke, not to speak of the book of Acts and 1st and 2nd Peter. Foreknowledge is the key to all of this. Jesus indeed was foreknown, as Christians were. Foreknown, Peter says. Foreknown, as Jeremiah was foreknown before his birth. All of that's fine. The name of the Messiah was named way back before Genesis. But to make Jesus a non-human, essentially pre-human person, destroys his genuine membership in the human race, makes him less than the second Adam, and interferes, of course, and this is the worst part of it all, with the unitary monotheism expressed by Jesus in his unitary monotheistic creed in Mark 12.